what's up everybody, this is Chris with Digital REM. In this video we're going to talk about some lighting that we use for our video production and how you can use the same lighting for your video production and why you would probably want to consider using the same lighting. So with that being said, let's just hop right into it. Let's go. Boom, here it is. So we got two lights here, right? One is called, and again, I didn't buy them because I knew the name of them. I bought them because how the functionality that they have. And actually this came in a two-pack, so this actually worked out very well. So we have our first light that's an RGB. That's like an RGB light. Very dope, very dope. And then we have it is another RGB light that's more of a that has a diffuser on it. So two lights, very, very similar, but they're gonna serve two different purposes. And I'm gonna show you exactly how they will serve two different purposes for your production, right? So let's just open the box and see what we got, right? First, boom. This one is actually, if I had to pick a favorite, I would say this one's my favorite one right here. This one out of these two is my favorite one. Now you can buy one of these at a time. They're about $30 to $40. But essentially, it's like the size of an old iPhone, not even the new iPhone. The iPhones that I used to like where you can kind of hold it in your hand and nobody know you had your phone. The size of an old iPhone, right? Boom. Just like that. And I'm going to turn it on. It's it can get kind of bright. But I can turn it on. This is only at 6%, right? Let's just turn it up so you can see. Like, essentially, that thing will blow. That thing is bright, right? Thing is bright. Right, but yeah, it works just like this. It has functions where again it flashes and does all of the little stuff, right? Dope. But that's not why we got it to do the flashing. Even though that might become useful in the future, let's maybe try to get it back to where it was before. Even though that might be useful in the future, what we're primarily using this for is so we don't run our ISO so high when we're doing our video production. Let me turn this off because it's getting a flare on our lens. But so we won't run our ISO so high when we're doing our video production. If you've seen a couple of our previous videos that we did at some events, we were in an environment that the lighting was kind of low. It was a kind of low light, so we had to crank up our ISO on our camera higher than usual. I want to say I kind of landed around 10,000 ISO. And then when I started editing the footage, I realized you could see all of the graininess and all of the things. I'm like, man, how can I combat that? Because, you know, I opened my aperture super high. It was at 2.8. I opened it super high. And what else? I was shooting at 60 frames per second, so I had to keep my shutter speed at 120, 124, whatever it is. But I had to keep it double. So I only had the ISO to work with. So with that being said, it made that production super limited as far as keeping that crisp image that I really like, really value. With that also being said, that sparked my, not interest, but just sparked my curiosity. Like, how do people do it in the club? Like when they have club photography, how do they make it look so crisp? How do they make it look so good? Because that is also a low light situation. So I reached out to some of my videographer friends, photographer friends, and they were telling me, hey, get a light. You get a light, you hold it up, you get your shot. If you're a photographer, you get your shot as you hold it up. So again, I'm gonna turn this on, boom. You'll turn it on, get your shot, you know, put it out just like the lighting here. Put it out to the side a little bit, not straight ahead. Put it off to the side a little bit where you get that nice lighting from the side like this, and then pretty much get your shot, right? So I was like, all right, cool. But also with that being said, I did more research and looked at videographers that I really like. Like, hey, okay, that's the intro to how to do it. But videographers I really like, I really studied their videos and realized, and they might not be doing this. It just might be luck of the draw, but I thought it would be a good idea. So when in photography, they have this thing called clamshell lighting or clam lighting, whatever it is, but they have a big reflector up under the person, right? A big reflector up under the person so it bounces the light up. So you have a light above that's bouncing down, and you're gonna get shadows, you know, below the nose, things like that's gonna shoot this way. But then they use the reflector to bounce light up, so it'll fill in some of that shadow. So again, you won't get those dark, harsh shadows. So I was like, well, why can't you do that with video? So essentially, one light being this one, turn it on. One light being this one, used as that underlight, and then this one being used as that overlight, and the camera being in the middle. I will put this off to the side, but and the camera being in the middle. So now you're getting that flattering lighting that really, really looks soft and almost like a ring light, but again, doesn't necessarily have that ring light feature. Now, ring lights are good in a sense, but again, if you want to step your game up, have it a little more different, have it a little more professional, then you probably want to consider a rig like this, or just even have one of these where you kind of hold it up, set up on your rig, however you want to do it, and you'll have your lighting. So super valuable. Again, you can change the color of this. You can change the Kelvin temperature of this. On the back side, it has a little display right there, so you could change the Kelvin temperature, thing like that. On this one, as you see, it has the diffuser on it. I feel like it doesn't get as bright, but again, you can Dixie chain these together, if they call it Dixie chain. I don't know if they do, but you can chain these together with the hot shoot, so you can put it on. It's called hot shoot. I don't know why I'm having a brain. My brain isn't, fully on, but right there, if you had 2 or 3 of these, you just put them in the side, and they can be side by side, or put them on the top, and they can be stacked up. So essentially, I'm saying you could stack them like Legos, and then put it on your camera or whatever, your rig or whatever you got going on. But also, that being said, you turn this one on by holding the button down. It'll come on, and then you can rotate around on the back side here. You can rotate around, and it'll turn the temperature down. But if you click the button, it also has the same features as the other one, where it has, different effects for your light in RGB mode, right? And you use the dial to turn it, the intensity down. So you have it real bright, going to the right, take it down, going to the left, right? Boom, just like that. All right. I really wish it had the function like this one. And this one, another reason why I like this one, because you can tell what effect you're in by the little screen on the back. It has a screen. This one, you just keep clicking the button till you're at where you think you're at, which can save you time if you know exactly where you're at. So again, just like now, I'm in a feature where it's just turning the intensity down, but I was looking for the one where, again, I could change the color temperature. So I kind of have to toggle through until I get to where I can change the color temperature. Let's see. Looks like this right here. See how the color temperature is changing? Boom. And if you want me to make a video about color temperature or light temperature, let me know. We could talk about that, because that also affects your white balance. And you should know about white balance. If you don't know about white balance, we got a lot of learning to do. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because even some of these people with some expensive cameras out here, they don't know about white balance, and you can tell, because that's insider knowledge for people who aren't videographers. You can tell when their footage comes out and it looks bluish or super orange or something like that. It's because they haven't set their white balance on their camera. So, boom. That is that. This is the light set that we bought off of Amazon. It was about $50 all together, so very inexpensive. I haven't set up the rig. As I say, you just see me opening the box just now, so I haven't set up the rig. But the idea is to run this on my Ronin back there. So run that on the Ronin, have it connected on the side or something like that, and run it just like that. So again, high hopes, and not really worried about that ISO issue that I was having before, similar to lighting like right now. I want to be able to do that on the go, and this is a great way to be able to do that on the go, right? Without having to set up tripods and stands and things like that. So again, great value for the cost. I think so. They're bright enough, pretty darn bright, and yeah, I'm not mad about it. So again, if you're looking for a lighting setup, I would suggest you consider getting something like this one or that one. But if I were to choose one over the other, they're again are both around $30 to $40, or this one's like $25. This one's like $30 to $40. I would go with this one because again, the screen on the back, the color variation, it seems like it might be a little bit brighter, and then the form factor is a nice form factor. And again, it does have, I didn't even show you that, but we showed you the hot shoe on the other one. It doesn't have a hot shoe, but it has the screw. It has the screw so you can screw it into a tripod screw type screw. So again, you just get a hot shoe adapter or something like that if you want to do the hot shoe mode. And that's again why we're connecting it to the Ronin with some additional equipment, right? So these are both by Small Rig. Very happy with the very happy with the purchase, and looking forward to the next production where we utilize this. So with that being said, hopefully you found some value in this video where we showed you exactly how we're going to utilize these mobile lights. I don't even call them up there called mobile lights, but how we're going to utilize these smaller lights in order to help us with producing content on the go for these events when the lighting conditions aren't necessarily the best. And you might be asking, like, why wouldn't the lights be up anyway? You're doing events. Well, sometimes when the situations that I run to, that when the lighting is low, is usually when the presenter is trying to show something on the projector. If they're trying to show something on a projector screen, they usually turn the lights down lower, where now people with the cameras, you're shooting live, you might have a live production going on with 3 cameras and they're recording and everything, and once you turn those lights down, now all of these cameras are affected, and then the quality of the video is also affected, which usually is in a negative way. But with that being said, with the right cameras, you won't have to worry as much. And we do have the right camera, but again, you still will run into that issue if you don't have the proper lighting. So with that being said, getting some of these just to have some for $50 is definitely worth it. Again, it can be some environment lights, like it can be something you just set up in the background for, just to give some ambiance to your channel. So with that being said, hope you found value in this. I'll see y'all in the next video. Later, y'all. Peace.